about to get you caught up on the only stocks you need to know. Time for the top 10. And I'm kicking it off. RBS up nearly 1% in the U.S., but it fell in London trading after CEO Stephen Hester quit, and the bank sadly decided to cut 2,000 jobs. UK Prime Minister David Cameron said RBS is still healing, and he wants UK taxpayers to get their money back from the bank.
Number 9 is Elan. Shares of the Irish biotech company are down nearly 4%. That's falling the most in 4 months. Royalty Pharma, an investor in royalty streams from medicine, said it may be forced to end its $6.7 billion bid to take over Elan. Ouch.
And let's stick with pharmaceuticals. Number 8, or related to pharmaceuticals, is Myriad Genetics. It's down more than 6% after the Supreme Court restricted the ability of companies to patent human genes. Now, the majority of the court said some parts of Myriad's patents require enough human intervention to be eligible for legal protection. However, other parts improperly covered natural phenomenon.
NorthStar Realty Finance shares are rising about 6% right now after the company announced it has agreed to acquire limited partnership interests in up to 25 separate real estate private equity funds. That's an aggregate net asset value of about $925 million. Certainly that will mean a lot more cash flow coming into NRF.
It certainly will. And here's the soap opera that won't end at all. Dish up 2%. Clearwire's board is recommending that shareholders accept an offer of $4.40 a share from Dish. The decision, of course, puts pressure on Sprint, which owns just over half of Clearwire, to sweeten its offer for the rest of the wireless company's shares.
And number 5, we've got an IPO, Coty. Shares of the beauty product company, they're down 1% in the trading debut in the New York Stock Exchange. The maker of perfumes endorsed by the likes of Beyonce and Heidi Klum raised about $1 billion on behalf of existing holders in its IPO yesterday, but it looks like investors were not biting today, guys.
Well, you know what's curious about this one? They actually priced this thing at a discount to a lot of the competitors. So, curious that, in fact, they're having so much trouble getting this thing off the ground, Jules.
Here's my thing is I've worn the same perfume for like 15 years. It's really hard to get me to change. Do you guys have the same problem?
I don't wear perfume.
But cologne. Same difference. Julie?
I'm not a perfume person either, but I mean, what's also interesting to me is that consumer companies have been doing pretty well, right? And so it's curious here that we're seeing this consumer stock where we're just not seeing the interest. Although, as Adam pointed out earlier, it's discretionary shares that are doing the worst today.
Yes. Okay. So let's talk about DuPont. The stock down a fraction after the chemical producer trimmed its guidance. DuPont says its agriculture, nutrition, and health units have been hurt by unseasonably cool, wet weather in North America and Europe. That, Alix, has delayed some of the planting.
Oh, it definitely has. And IBM is number 3, up about 1.5%. Another story that surrounds job cuts today. The world's largest computer services provider has fired at least 1,300 workers in a round of U.S. cuts that began yesterday, according to an employee group. Now, the move is part of a global restructuring plan that IBM announced back in April.
Number 2, we've got one of the big deals today. Safeway up nearly 8%. The grocery store chain has agreed to sell its Canadian stores to Empire's Sobeys unit for about $5.7 billion in cash. That sale is going to give Safeway a jolt of cash as its new CEO works to reverse slowing sales gains.
And our number 1 stock here with 30 seconds before the bell, Gannett, up 34%, surging the most in nearly 4 years. Yes, 34% is certainly a surge. The publisher of USA Today has agreed to buy Velo for about $1.5 billion, gains TV stations, and reduces its dependence on the shrinking newspaper business.